Hey everyone, thank you for joining us today and welcome to Cloud OnBoard On Air Core Infrastructure Fundamentals with Google Cloud Platform. This is your first step on the learning journey towards becoming an expert Google Cloud certified professional. But first, an introduction to your Google Cloud team. My name is Shri Reddy and I'm a customer engineer with Google Cloud. As a customer engineer, we act as trusted technical advisors to our customers and help shape the future of Google Cloud by advocating customer needs such as yours. And joining me today is Grant Moyle from ROI. Grant and I have done many of these sessions before, and we're excited to do this again. A little bit about our training partner, ROI. ROI has helped many customers such as you successfully accelerate their journey to the cloud. They have helped train over 40,000 customers across 6 continents and over 25 countries. So again, thank you, Grant and ROI, for joining us today on our journey. Here is a quick overview of our schedule for today. We have a lot of interesting content packed in. We have split the content into 4 critical modules. Module 1 will give you an overview of why Google Cloud Platform is different, how GCP or Google Cloud Platform can help you with your cloud needs and requirements. Module 2 will give you an overview of our compute and storage portfolio. And Module 3 will talk about containers and Kubernetes. Innovation is really critical for all businesses today. They need to move fast, and this is where containers and Kubernetes can help your business. Modernizing applications, if that's what you're looking for, containers is your answer. So we'll look into that with Module 3, and Module 4 will focus on big data analytics and machine learning. With the sheer amount of data that businesses are generating today, it's really critical to gain intelligible insights from that data, and this is where big data analytics and machine learning will come into play for you. And finally, I'll be joining you back for the wrap-up session where we'll quickly wrap up everything, and then we'll also do a tour of our demo lab environment. So we'll walk through an actual lab, and then we will hand over the lab environment to you so you can continue your cloud journey by doing some of the hands-on labs offline. Okay, a little bit about Google Cloud itself before I hand it over to Grant. Let's talk about Google Scale. What does that mean? We have over 7 cloud products, each serving over 1 billion users. Think about that number, 1 billion users. Now, you might be saying, okay, that's great, but I'm not Google. I don't need to serve 1 billion users. I'm just a small manufacturing company or a retailer company or a shipping company. What does that scale have to do with me? But if you take a step back from the specifics, you'll see that we're solving for the same kinds of problems that you are dealing with on a day-to-day business with your company. Being data-driven is core to how Google operates, and it's increasingly important to all businesses today. And as Google grew, we needed ways to tie together engineering and product teams around the world to make them more productive. And so just like you, we had to build systems that are secure, that are resilient in the face of all kinds of threats. In today's world, security is becoming more and more critical. We also focus a lot on energy efficiency in our data centers. This is one reason why we build our own servers, own storage, network, and all equipment. It lets us fine-tune every piece of the puzzle. The result is that our Google data center uses less than half the energy of the typical industry one, something we take great pride in. At this time, we are constantly announcing new regions, and we're always going into new geographies. Today, Google Cloud Platform has 18 regions, and in fact, we just announced a region in Warsaw, Poland lately, and there's always new regions or new geographies that we're interested in that we're announcing. Let's talk a bit about this nomenclature. I know this is pretty common in the cloud industry, regions, zones, but just let's go over it again. Regions are independent geographic areas that consist of zones. Locations within regions tend to have really fast round-trip access times. A zone is a deployment area for GCP resources within a region. So you can think of a zone as a single failure domain within a region. And this is critical when you're designing for fault-tolerant applications with high availability or HA. So you typically want to deploy your applications across multiple zones in a region so that you are protected against unexpected failures. Grant will go into more of these details in his overview Module 1 talk. So we've talked a bit about regions, zones, why Google scale is important, and why scale and security are some of the factors you need to think about. But to build a global platform, you also have to connect these data centers together. So networking is another key critical component. And for us, that means investing in our own private subsea cables across the Atlantic and Pacific. And this is also what contributes to a really fast networking performance and reliability. So speaking of networking, not only is this network faster and larger, it also gives you this unique combination of speed and reliability. Most cloud providers use what's called today as a hot potato routing. When you're sending out traffic from their infrastructure, they offload it to the public internet as soon as possible. But we don't do that. We do what's called cold potato. We keep the traffic inside Google's private network as long as possible and exit to the public internet at the location nearest to the end user, usually in the same city or town. What this enables us is to offer you, our customers, better reliability, better performance, and more security. So again, something to keep in mind as you're designing your applications for the cloud. The network matters. Again, let's go over security at a high level. A lot of organizations and enterprises think about security as, hey, let's just build a big wall around our system and we should be safe against all kinds of outside threats. If I only had 2 words to sum up how we think about security, it's trust nothing. The way we design for our security is thinking about every layer in the stack, right from our data centers, our hardware, our software, and every layer inside the hardware and software, every piece of equipment that goes inside the hardware. We design keeping security at the forefront. So for us, it leads to an approach what we call a layered defense in depth. So as I said, layered means you have to think about every level of the stack, the hardware stack, the software stack. So from the hardware through the software, in fact, to the operations teams, because we do not trust any of them. And defense in depth because you have to take a different approach. You just need the bad guys to be right once to be able to penetrate your security. And so we want to trust nothing and apply the maximum possible security at all possible penetration points. With that, I'm going to show you a quick video on how our data centers are built now that we've talked about security and how we handle security even within our data centers. It's a very interesting video on all the different aspects that go into building a data center. And I'll be back with you right after the video.
I love building and operating data centers. I'm Joe Cava, Vice President of Data Centers at Google. I'm responsible for managing the teams globally that design, build, and operate Google's data centers. We're also responsible for the environmental health and safety, sustainability, and carbon offsets for our data centers. This data center here in South Carolina is one node in a larger network of data centers all over the world. Of all the employees at Google, a very, very small percentage of those employees are authorized to even enter a data center campus. I think the Google data centers really can offer a level of security that almost no other company can match. We have an information security team that is truly second to none. You have the expression, they wrote the book on that. Well, there are many of our information security team members that have really written the books on best practices in information security. Protecting the security and the privacy of our users' information is our foremost design criteria. We use various layers of higher level security the closer into the center of the campus you get. So just to enter this campus, my badge had to be on a pre-authorized access list. Then to come into the building, that was another level of security. To get into the secure corridor, which leads to the data center, that's a higher level of security. And the data center and the networking rooms are the highest level of security. All of our racks don't really look like a traditional server rack. These are custom designed and built for Google so that we can optimize the servers for hyper efficiency and high performance computing. To me, the thing that amazes me about Google and the data centers is the pace of innovation and always challenging the way we're doing things. So when people say that innovation in a certain area is done, that we've kind of reached the pinnacle of what can be achieved, I just laugh.
And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Grant from ROI Training to walk you through the rest of the content that we have prepared for you for your cloud onboard journey. I'll be right back with you after Module 4, where we will do a quick wrap-up and we'll walk through the Quick Labs environment. Thank you and enjoy.